Okay, this is the OG laptop, like this design, this red track point in the middle. By the way, it's called nipple. I mean, if you spotted someone using this, you knew it was a ThinkPad. And growing up, the ThinkPads were kind of like a cult. If you saw a man wearing a suit, high chances are he had a ThinkPad. However, in 2024, things are changing. We now have this. And believe it or not, this is the modern day version, top tier build, latest in specs, and since this is a 2-in-1 model, tablet and a laptop, it's called the Thinkbook. Thinkbook 14 to IN 14 G4 IML1 names these days. Anyways, on paper, this seems like a worthy successor of the OG ThinkPad, but is it that so? In fact, the bigger question is, with so many options out there, does it still have what it takes to become the go-to laptop for productivity? Well, we have been using this laptop for a few days and I must say things are very interesting. I'll tell you everything in detail, all that is good, and even those I wish could have been better. Stick around till the end of the video. Let's go. Now, before we begin, if this is your first time buying a laptop, here's what you typically get. A brown, environment-friendly cardboard box. Inside you get the laptop, some paperwork, charging cable and a charging brick. Now, since this is a 2-in-1 laptop, they also bundle in a stylus. Also, this video is made in collaboration with Lenovo and Microsoft. So we'll be talking about the benchmarks and the features that you get with this laptop. Okay, coming to this laptop, there are 3 really cool things here. First is the design, like just for reference, this is how the OG ThinkPad was, and this is the new modern day Thinkbook. Sure, it looks just as modern as any 2024 laptop, yet it does retain some essence of the original. Just like the OG, it looks minimal. There is a 2-tone finish on the back and this metal color makes it look very neat and clean. I like that. On the bottom, you have the exhaust vents and 2 speakers here. Now, generally, I don't like this speaker placement. However, I'll make an exception for this laptop. More on this in just a moment. Now, the best part about the design is not how it looks, rather how it feels. Because this laptop is made entirely out of metal and it feels very sturdy. Like there's a fine line between it feels so light, like it feels like a toy, and it's a very heavy to carry around. The sweet spot is somewhere in between and this laptop falls in the same sweet spot. Plus on the weighing scale, it was around 1.65 kg, which is just about the weight of a MacBook Pro. And there is this lip on the top so you can easily open it with one hand. And here's a personal experience. I often write my scripts like this with the laptop on my lap, and even here I didn't feel uncomfortable because of the weight. Also, the screen wobble was minimal, not missing but still there. Again, since this is a 2-in-1 laptop, I must mention the hinge, because this rotates completely like this, and now you can use it as a tablet. So the rotation is quite sturdy. There were no cracks or creaks when you twist the laptop. Besides this, the laptop has most of the required ports. On the left, you get a 3.5mm audio jack, Type-C Thunderbolt 4 port. You can connect a monitor via this, HDMI, USB-A 3.2 Gen 1 port, another Type-C port. On the right, you also have the power button, micro SD card reader, another USB-A 3.2 Gen 1 port, and a Kensington lock. And here's something cool. See, I'll connect the phone and it charges. Now, even if I close the lid, the phone continues to charge. That's because the USB supports the always on feature. This is carry off charging port. Plus, if I do this, it instantly locks me in because the power button is also a fingerprint sensor. However, there are 2 things which I wish could have been better. Firstly is the card reader. Like, I know people use SD card, dash cam, security camera, all of that uses SD card, but I use a full-size SD card, so I wanted a full-size SD card port. And second, see here on the display, the bottom bezel is big and it is not symmetrical with the top bezel. Now, it's not a deal breaker by any means because you'll get used to it, but I thought I should mention it. And since we're talking about the display, let me show you something very interesting here. This is another laptop and I'll play the same video we play to check OLED displays. On this other laptop, the video looks good because this is also an OLED display. However, even on the Lenovo laptop, the video looks very good. The blacks look like true blacks, but here's the twist. This is actually an IPS display. Like, even I was confused at first, so I had to check the spec sheet just to confirm it. Bottom line, the picture quality here is very nice. Like, I was watching Citadel Honey Money on this. The color, sharpness and everything just looks so damn good. Also, this is a 14-inch display with a max resolution of 1900 by 1200. So 16:10 aspect ratio. Browsing the web, text and doing split window all looks very good. Plus the display is also touchscreen, so even in tablet mode I had no issues. And also you get the stylus included. If you're into drawing or just annotating PDF, this is very helpful. And remember in the start I mentioned about making an exception for the speakers? Have a listen, this is normal mode. And this is tent mode. Tent mode. Normal mode. So basically when you put it in tent mode, the bottom firing speakers then become front firing, so the audio gets slightly richer and fuller. Also, if you go into Dolby Access and enable dynamic mode, the audio gets slightly tuned and it sounds louder. Again, that being said, there are a few things which I wish were better in the display. First, it is only 60 Hz. Again, not a deal breaker, but 90 or 120 Hz would have been better. Second, even in max brightness, the display at times felt a little dim. Like, it is only 300 nits, so you won't feel it most of the times, but if you're sitting in front of a bright window, I think it should have been around 400 nits. That is the time you feel it. Coming to performance, this laptop comes with Core Ultra 7 155U CPU, 16GB DDR5 RAM and 1TB of NVMe storage. Now in my usage, I was writing scripts, watching videos, listening to music and occasionally doing Photoshop. For these things, the laptop has no issues. I didn't notice any lag or anything. Also, for benchmarks, I ran Cinebench R23 on this. It scored around 8900 in multi-core and more than 1600 in single core, which is a good score for a U series processor. That being said, I must mention one thing about this Intel processor. See, Intel launched many CPUs this year, and the most confusing thing is that they launched two variants of the same processor. Like this one here is 155U. It has a total of 12 cores, 2 performance and 8 efficiency cores. Plus this has the older Intel graphics. However, there is also a 155H variant which is slightly more expensive and comes with Intel Arc graphics. So if you want to do some slightly heavier graphic stuff like video editing and all of that, I would suggest go for the H series CPU. But the good thing is, most of the CPUs these days come with dedicated NPUs, so there are 2 extra cores to handle AI stuff. Even this laptop has NPU and you get few AI specific features, like you have studio effects in the camera. This improves the lighting on video calls. Plus there's also auto framing, so even if you move around, it will always keep you at the center. And since we are in the era of AI, there is also a dedicated Copilot key. You can chat with the AI or you can even ask it to generate images, and since this is included in Windows 11, you don't need to visit a website separately, and quite helpful. I was using this quite a lot to do research for my scripts. Coming to the webcam, it uses a 1080p webcam, and this is how the video quality is. Like, it's good enough for video calls and slightly better than the gaming laptops. Plus you get additional privacy features, like this is the shutter which physically blocks the camera. Also when you start the camera, this is this white LED which glows, so you're always aware that if the webcam is active. That's nice. A good privacy feature. Another thing to mention is the typing and trackpad experience. Like the trackpad is sufficiently big, it is made from glass, so it feels pretty smooth to the touch. Again, supports all the Windows gesture. Same goes for the keyboard. Like, I love ThinkPad keyboards, and I've been using the laptop to write scripts on this and I have zero complaints. Like, listen to the sound of it. Like, feels so good to the ears. There's also a small curve on each key which makes the typing experience quite nice. You don't mishit any keystrokes. Also the keyboard is backlit, so even if you use the laptop at night or in dark environment, you are good to go. The only thing is, to keep the laptop compact, Lenovo went in with a 10 keyless design, meaning you don't get the number pad on the right, which is pretty common with productivity laptops. Now another important part of this laptop is the battery life. This laptop comes with a 60 watt-hour battery, and in my normal usage at 50% brightness, it would last like 5 to 7 hours depending on what I'm doing. Also, it comes with a 65 watt Type-C charger, and it supports rapid fast charge, so it can go 100% in about 1 hour. That's not all. All the Type-C ports here are capable of charging, so in case you forget your laptop's charger, you can still charge it with your mobile charger or any PD charger. So yeah, that was our take on the new Lenovo 2-in-1 Thinkbook, and a part of me is kind of impressed because see, given the history of this laptop, this is meant mainly for working and business professionals, and from that aspect, this laptop checks the right boxes. Performance is decent, the typing experience is nice, and best of all is the display. So if you're in the market for a productivity laptop that can also double as a tablet and you want to carry something on the go, you can look into this Thinkbook. The Core Ultra 5 variant starts for around 80,000, and this is the price of the Core 7 variant. And for everyone else, we are working on a laptop that we got for a crazy discount, so subscribe so that you don't miss out on that. On that note, this is signing off. See you in the next video. Pew, pew.